Last Thursday afternoon, I received a phone call notifying me that a letter written by my wife specifically to the attention of the Sachse City Council members in her capacity as the director of Sachse CERT had found its way on Facebook. On the surface, that may not seem to be at all bad until I noticed one thing. The letter that was posted had my wife's personal cell phone number on it. So I wondered how in the world did a citizen of Sachse get their hands on a letter that was sent only to the Sachse City Council members from the director of Sachse CERT through the fire chief. It did not take too long to find out that City Council member Bill Adams had provided a letter to a citizen who was questioning some circumstances that occurred a few weeks ago. My concern is not what was in the letter. My serious concern is my wife's personal cell phone number ended up on Facebook for really anyone to see. Fortunately, I've had a few days removed from this to be able to cool down. Something like this should not and should never happen. So how does this happen? Well, one, if you consider the letter to be a public record, which according to the city's attorney it would be, then citizens are allowed to get that letter. However, according to the city website, open record requests are to be sent through the city secretary, and there's a very specific protocol to follow. That did not happen in this case. If you consider the letter not to be public record, then it truly shows a complete lack of judgment, as a letter addressed only to city council members shouldn't be shared with just anyone. That's inappropriate and wrong. I can speculate why it happened. Was it to back up a position during this election cycle while tensions can get heated and the letter was used politically? That's the only piece I don't know for fact. Everything else is indisputable. So ultimately, why am I here? I'm requesting the city do a little training on how to follow public open record requests, as well as training to help with proper communication with citizens that have questions. Obviously, there's a problem. I only ask that we learn and get better. Secondly, I'm asking the city to look into creating or updating a social media policy for use for all city leaders, including council, managers, directors, employees. I've noticed over the past couple of months there are Facebook groups that are administered by city representatives, have the name of the city in the Facebook group, but are not official City of Sachse sanctioned pages. I believe as a citizen of Sachse, this poses a liability to the City of Sachse. I believe that social media use policies should be drafted to protect our city from potential liability due to any possible misinformation, misdirection, or inappropriate use of social media. The city has plenty of liability, as does any other city. There is no reason to add more on with social media. But if we don't have a policy that is in place, that's exactly what we're doing, is adding a liability and susceptibility to problems. I don't see a problem with individuals having their own personal Facebook page, Twitter handle, Instagram account, etc. However, when you're a representative of the city and you're administrator of a page or social media account that uses the city's name, it needs to be managed and monitored by the city, not just an individual. If you haven't seen the comments or concerns by citizens related to the use of the social media, give me a call. I'll be happy to show you. The city needs a social media and public relations policy. If there is already one, it needs to be updated and amended. I appreciate what the city leaders do for me as a citizen. Often it is a thankless job. I don't share this to be mean or ugly, but I do also believe that as a citizen, I have a right to call out issues and see and request change or action. I don't ever want to see my wife's cell phone number find its way on the internet unless she's the one to put it there. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.